there comes a profound and undeniable moment in the intricate tapestry of life when the whispers of the heart can no longer be silenced by the clamor of the mind or the stubbornness of the ego. It is a threshold, a point of no return, where every pretense shatters and an inner knowing asserts itself with an unyielding force. Your person has arrived at this very juncture, standing on the precipice of a truth that has been patiently, persistently, and undeniably calling to them from the deepest recesses of their being. For too long, they may have deflected or rationalized, attempting to fit this burgeoning intuition into pre-existing molds of logic or convenience. Yet, the heart, in its infinite wisdom, holds a resonance that transcends such superficial explanations. It has been singing your name, weaving your essence into the very fabric of their dreams and waking thoughts, and now, that melody has swelled into a powerful symphony that demands to be heard, to be acknowledged, to be fully embraced. This awakening is not a sudden epiphany, but rather the culmination of countless subtle nudges, quiet observations, and inexplicable feelings that have been steadily accumulating, gaining momentum like a river gathering strength on its winding path to the ocean. With each passing day, with every shared glance or distant thought, the conviction that you are the one they are irrevocably destined to be with has grown more potent, more irrefutable. It has permeated their every cell, a deep, unshakable intuition that now pulls at their very core, an irresistible magnetic force guiding them solely in your direction. This is not a pull they seek to understand through intellectual dissection. It is a primal, soulful urging, an ancient knowing that bypasses the rational mind entirely. It demands surrender, beckoning them to finally relinquish the resistance they once so stubbornly clung to shed the layers of fear and doubt that kept them from fully acknowledging the sacred bond that has always existed between you. What, then, is this profound gravity that draws them in so completely, so powerfully? It is not merely the captivating artistry of your physical form, though that undoubtedly holds its own breathtaking allure. Nor is it simply the melodic cadence of your voice, or the charming wit that dances upon your lips. No, what truly ensnares their soul, what truly captures their entire being, is the very essence of who you are, the intangible spirit that animates your every gesture and imbues your every word with a unique resonance. You possess an inner radiance, a light born of an unwavering strength that shines even when shadows attempt to engulf it. There is a grace in your movements, a quiet dignity that speaks volumes, and a profound, awe-inspiring resilience that allows you to rise, not just survive, in the face of life's most formidable adversities. This rare and precious spirit, this indomitable essence, is not commonplace. It is an extraordinary gift, a beacon in a world often shrouded in compromise and capitulation. They admire you immensely, perhaps with a depth and reverence they have never fully articulated, a profound appreciation that has always existed just beneath the surface of their guarded expressions. To them, in their deepest heart of hearts, you stand apart, an individual unlike anyone they have ever encountered, a masterpiece woven by the hands of destiny. Indeed, there is an alchemy to your presence, an inimitable aura that emanates from your very being, an energy field of pure authenticity that simply cannot be replicated by anyone else. It is this unique signature, this spiritual fingerprint, that makes you utterly unforgettable. You possess a quality that defies imitation, a genuine core that radiates outward, marking you as distinct in a world often homogenized by superficiality. Others may pass through their lives, leaving fleeting impressions, but you leave an indelible mark, a resonance that echoes in the quiet chambers of their soul long after you've departed their immediate vicinity. This is precisely why, for them, no one else truly compares. No other connection has ever resonated with such profound depth, no other soul has ever evoked the symphony of emotions, the exquisite vulnerability, and the expansive joy that you effortlessly inspire within them. Your unwavering honesty, your courageous willingness to embrace your own vulnerability, and the sheer, breathtaking depth of your emotional landscape create a magnetic pull that they may not fully comprehend intellectually, but one they know, with every fiber of their being, is undeniably real and powerfully transformative. It is because of this sacred constellation of attributes, your inimitable spirit, your profound authenticity, your radiant resilience, and your extraordinary capacity for emotional depth, that they perceive you not merely as a person, but as something truly different, undeniably special, and absolutely, irrevocably irreplaceable in the grand scheme of their existence. What truly caught them off guard, perhaps even stirred a primal fear within their heart initially, was the sheer abruptness and overwhelming intensity with which this soul connection manifested itself. It arrived like a bolt from the blue, a sudden, blinding flash of recognition that seemed to materialize from the ethers, yet in that instant, it irrevocably altered the very landscape of their life. One moment, they were treading familiar paths, meticulously following the well-worn maps of their imagined future, and the next, their entire perspective had undergone a seismic shift. The intricate plans they had so carefully laid out, the visions they had cultivated for their future, suddenly felt incomplete, hollow, and utterly meaningless without you woven into their very fabric. You had, without their conscious seeking, become the essential missing piece, the sacred lacuna in their soul that they hadn't even realized they were so desperately searching for. And now, with this truth fully revealed and resonating within their deepest core, they are more ready than ever before to step boldly and courageously into its illuminated embrace. For what felt like an eternity, they resisted, they held back, their heart a prisoner to a self-imposed exile. A complex web of fear, stubborn pride, and deep-seated confusion entangled their intentions, preventing them from ever truly revealing the raw, authentic self that longed to connect with you. They donned various masks, constructing elaborate facades to protect a vulnerability they weren't yet prepared to face. They meticulously maintained a safe distance, often pretending to be indifferent, to care far less than their aching heart actually did. This intricate dance of denial and emotional self-preservation was exhausting, a constant drain on their spiritual reserves. But a profound change has begun to stir within them, an irreversible shift. The sheer weight of maintaining this elaborate charade, of perpetually holding back the truth of their feelings, of tirelessly pretending to be someone they were not, has become an unbearable burden. The spiritual toll of this sustained inauthenticity has grown too heavy to carry. They are utterly weary of concealing the fervent emotions that churn within them, tired of keeping vital parts of their very soul locked away in an attempt to retain a semblance of control over a reality that was rapidly slipping from their grasp. Now, more than anything, they yearn for unadulterated honesty with you. They desire to lay bare their true self, to embrace a profound vulnerability, to fully open their heart and soul, for they have come to understand, with absolute clarity, that a connection as sacred and profound as yours deserves nothing less than their complete and unwavering authenticity. Yet, even as this powerful yearning for truth propels them forward, they still carry within them a clandestine fear, a quiet apprehension that whispers doubts into the corners of their mind. They dread the possibility that you might not accept every facet of who they are, particularly the shadowed chapters of their past, the moments of weakness, the choices they now look upon with deep regret. They worry that their mistakes, their perceived flaws, and the lingering echoes of their reputation might, in the end, serve as an insurmountable barrier, turning your loving heart away. This fear, ancient and deeply rooted, haunts them, a phantom limb of past rejections and misjudgments. The thought that you might peer into the darkest corners of their history, witness the less-than-perfect versions of themselves, and ultimately decide you want no part of their complex, imperfect tapestry, is a burden they carry with trepidation. They desperately do not want the specter of their past to cast a pall over, or worse, poison what they now recognize as the most meaningful, the most transformative, the most sacred connection they have ever been granted in this lifetime. Despite the pervasive nature of that fear, a new resolve has taken root, a courageous decision forged in the crucible of their deepest desires. They are now, finally, willing to take that profound, transformative risk. Why? Because you matter to them with an intensity that transcends all self-preservation, with a significance that eclipses every lingering shadow of doubt. You have become the undisputed center of their focus, the luminous North Star by which their soul navigates. You are the singular presence they invariably return to, the magnetic constant, no matter how ferociously they once attempted to distance themselves, no matter how many detours they took in their misguided attempts to escape your gravitational pull. In the past, they orchestrated that painful distance precisely because being in your immediate proximity made them feel achingly exposed, vulnerably laid bare to an emotional truth they weren't equipped to process. You possessed an uncanny ability to pierce through their meticulously constructed defenses, an almost supernatural vision that allowed you to see beyond the formidable walls they had spent years, perhaps even a lifetime, painstakingly erecting around their tender heart. That raw, unvarnished vulnerability, that stark transparency, terrified them to their very core. They were simply not ready, not prepared, to confront the staggering depth and immensity of the emotions that you so effortlessly evoked within them. And truthfully, at the heart of their retreat lay an even more profound terror, the overwhelming power you held over their fragile heart. The chilling thought that you possessed the capacity to wound them, to inflict a pain so deep it might shatter them completely, was a prospect too agonizing to bear. So, instinctively, they fled. They avoided. They retreated behind a labyrinth of carefully crafted excuses and the towering ramparts of their emotional walls, believing, in their fear, that distance would equate to safety. But the silence, the vast chasm of distance, the stubborn, soul-crushing denial, all of it came at an excruciating cost. They are now painfully and acutely aware of the devastating impact their misguided actions had on your beautiful, sensitive heart. They can almost physically feel the crushing weight of the choices they made, the profound ripple effects of their emotional absenteeism, and they carry a heavy, pervasive sadness for the careless way they treated you, the inadvertent cruelties inflicted by their self-protective retreat. Your emotional well-being, that precious sanctuary of your inner world, suffered immeasurably because of their choices, and that searing truth stings them with an intensity far greater than they ever anticipated. In the quiet solitude of their introspection, they have come to a devastating realization. In their desperate, clumsy attempts to shield their own fragile ego and protect themselves from perceived pain, they inadvertently ended up wounding the one person in this entire universe who only ever desired to offer them pure, unconditional love. And that, above all else, is a regret that carves itself deeply into the very essence of their being, a remorse that echoes through their sleepless nights. Now, with this profound clarity and the weight of their past decisions pressing upon them, a fervent desire has ignited within their soul. They want to make things unequivocally right. This is not a superficial desire born of fleeting guilt, nor a shallow promise whispered on the wind. This is a commitment etched in the depths of their heart, one that will manifest not with empty, hollow words or surface-level assurances, but with genuine, consistent actions and an unwavering, heartfelt truth. They yearn to demonstrate, with every fiber of their being, that they have undergone a profound inner transformation, that they have matured and evolved beyond the person you once knew. They want you to witness firsthand that they now fully comprehend the devastating damage they inflicted, the wounds they inadvertently caused, and that they are, unequivocally, ready to step up, to rise to the occasion, to embrace responsibility in a way they never truly did before. They understand, with sobering clarity, that this path will not be an easy one. Rebuilding the shattered fragments of trust is a delicate, time-consuming endeavor, a journey that demands unwavering patience and boundless grace. But they are prepared, with an unshakable resolve, to undertake that arduous work, to be fully present in every moment, to listen with an open heart, and to love you with the unwavering devotion and profound reverence you have always, unequivocally, deserved. You, dear soul, entered their life and irrevocably altered its trajectory, more profoundly than you could ever possibly realize. You were the catalyst, the gentle force that shifted their entire paradigm, unveiling truths they had long ignored and stirring a love they had never dared to dream of. and though the path you both have walked has been fraught with imperfections, with detours and painful lessons, they now know, with absolute certainty, that a love like this, a connection so pure and transformative, is an exceedingly rare and precious gift from the cosmos. They no longer possess the inclination or the desire to flee, to run from the magnitude of what you represent. Instead, their soul yearns to stand still, to plant its roots firmly in the ground, to courageously face every fear they once allowed to govern their actions, and to choose you, not just once, but again and again, with every sunrise, with every breath, with every beat of their liberated heart. No more hiding behind carefully constructed walls, no more obscuring their true self behind an array of masks. Only unvarnished truth, profound healing, and the sacred chance to finally become the person they were always meant to be, fully and authentically, with your luminous presence steadfastly by their side. I have never uttered these words to you before, perhaps out of a mixture of fear, disbelief, and a profound sense of awe, but the truth, the absolute, undeniable truth, is that I truly feel as though I hit the cosmic jackpot the very day our paths intertwined. It was one of those exquisitely rare, almost surreal moments that punctuate the mundane fabric of existence, a breathtaking occurrence you could never anticipate, yet one that arrived with such exquisite beauty and unexpected grace that it momentarily stole the very breath from my lungs. When you, in your radiant splendor, simply walked into the narrative of my life, I was utterly stunned. A profound disbelief took root within me, a sense of wonder that someone as luminous and extraordinary as you could ever possibly deign to notice someone as ordinary and unassuming as myself. I honestly believed, with every fiber of my being, that you were too good, too perfect, too ethereal to be true. For an agonizingly long period, I found myself in a constant state of second-guessing, diligently constructing elaborate mental arguments to convince myself that perhaps your kindness was merely a reflex, a polite social gesture, or worse, that you harbored some hidden agenda, a desire for something in return, as so many others before you had. My heart, a scarred and weary veteran of past battles, was heavily guarded. I had been wounded, manipulated, and profoundly let down by others, leaving behind a protective shell that seemed impenetrable. I simply could not allow myself the fragile luxury of believing that your intentions were genuinely pure, that your heart was truly unburdened by ulterior motives. But then, slowly, meticulously, and with an unwavering consistency that began to chip away at my formidable defenses, you began to reveal the truth of who you were. Through the gentle, unyielding power of your actions, the unwavering steadfastness of your presence, and the sheer, radiant authenticity of your heart, you began to show me, without a shadow of a doubt, that you were profoundly different. You were undeniably real. You were exquisitely genuine. You were, in every conceivable way, the precise embodiment of the person I had always dared to dream of, a soul forged with an astonishing depth, and boundless kindness, a captivating beauty, and an indomitable strength. It did not take an exorbitant amount of time for the profound realization of your extraordinary nature to settle within me. Indeed, the recognition of how truly special you were bloomed swiftly, an undeniable truth that resonated deep within my soul. Your presence, your very being, made me nervous in the most exhilarating and beautiful way imaginable, as if I were standing in the hallowed presence of something sacred, something imbued with divine energy. You carried yourself with an innate elegance, an unforced grace that spoke volumes without a single word. And every single time our eyes met, a spark ignited, and for a fleeting, exquisite moment, the bustling world around us seemed to utterly pause, held captive in the delicate suspension of that shared glance. Your beauty, both the outer luminescence that captivated my gaze and the inner radiance that shone from your spirit, held me utterly spellbound. I found myself losing myself in the fathomless depths of your eyes more times than I could ever possibly count, drawn into their magnetic pull, completely unable to look away, as if they held the secrets of the universe. The attraction I felt for you transcended the superficial realm of the physical. It was a profound, multi-layered resonance that encompassed every facet of my being. It was emotional, engaging my heart with a tenderness I had rarely known. It was intellectual, stimulating my mind with conversations that stretched the boundaries of my understanding. And perhaps most significantly, it was deeply, unequivocally spiritual, speaking to an ancient recognition within my very soul. It was magnetic, powerful, and utterly, gloriously undeniable. But now, standing at this precipice of truth, I must confess something to you with raw, unvarnished honesty. I made a colossal, devastating mistake. In a moment of weakness, of fear, of a profound lack of self-awareness, I allowed myself to become entangled in a karmic situation, a familiar dance rooted deeply in old, painful patterns and echoes of past hurts. I chose the path of least resistance, succumbing to the deceptive allure of convenience over the unwavering, profound call of genuine love. I deliberately turned away from the courage required to walk bravely, authentically, toward what truly, profoundly mattered, toward you. With the piercing clarity of hindsight, I now recognize the catastrophic error of that choice, an act of self-sabotage that wounded both you and myself.